Valley Club, beware, there's a command center event going on right now that is bugs. The devs have addressed this. We're gonna talk about what the solution is. Also, Danger Room is live. I've been playing this for a couple days, having a lot of fun with it. I know some people are having a lot of fun as well, but some people are struggling with it. We're gonna talk about what some of the tips are to help you with the Danger Room. And it is time to answer your questions for the mailbag. If you're ready for all of that and more, you're gonna do Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having an excellent day. I hope you're enjoying the Danger Room as much as I am. If not, I'm going to talk about some tips that have helped me. Also, we got some mailbag questions, and there is a bug that you need to be aware of. And if you get some value from this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you know as soon as a brand new video goes up. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week on this channel. Well, let's jump into the game and talk about the bug right now, and it is with the Strike Salute event. Says you need to visit the command center daily, and there's nothing in that command center related to this, at least right now. I do have some points for this, and I'll talk about what has happened, but it says, as far as scoring, collect salute tokens from the command center, 5,000 points each time you do that. I do have 5,000 points, but if we go to the command center, there is nothing that indicates that there's any points there. If we go to these Harbinger milestones, nothing there for the salute points. There's nothing in the rewards there. Also, Harbinger week 4, nothing in the rewards. In the objectives, there's daily battle and raids. Nothing else as far as those salute tokens. But the devs did address this. What they said yesterday was about 8:38 p.m. Pacific. They said, commanders, for the Strike Salute milestone that started today, the salute tokens will not be visible, but it will be counting points. To earn points for the Strike Salute, you will need to do the Harbinger week 4 daily objectives. And I'm not sure what the daily objective is, but I did claim that. I know the raid one is battling in raids. I'm not sure what the other objective is. Maybe it's also battling in raids because it's not showing up, but it should be there later today. But as you saw with my milestones, even though there's nothing showing up, I did get those 5,000 points for one of those command center salute tokens. So it is working. It doesn't look like it's working, but if you go to this actual milestone, you should have some points for there if you did the command center events for today. So it's a visual bug at this point. Let's move forward with this Reddit post about the Danger Room. I do like this one because this is about some misconceptions. Now, whether you like it or not, that's a personal enjoyment thing. But I do want everybody to know about the mode. So if you don't like it, that's fine, but at least it's based on accurate information. And if you do like it, that's fine, but I do want all that to be based on accurate information. So warning, rant ahead, and thanks to Brother Fury, Feud Duty for this. Seen a lot of discussion on the Danger Room, and most of those people are blatantly telling lies about the game mode. I don't know if it's lies or just misinformation or misperception about what is going on in the game, but no discussion on the game mode can be made due to some players taking over discussion with bad information and downvote those who try to correct them into oblivion. So this is just some misconception about the Danger Room, and hopefully this will either allow you to like it or not like it, but like I said, at least it's based on correct information. So no preloaded turn meter. And in some of the rooms, this is very obvious. In some of the rooms, it seems like the enemies are going over and over and over again. They have preloaded turn meter in many game modes, but none of it in the Danger Room. And yeah, I do not like the preloaded turn meter. Some of the Danger Room rooms do feel like that though. Anyone that says so is wrong. Only case where preloaded turn meter happens, if you buy the raid rules, which is 300 of those yellow X coins, where raid rule abilities are active. When using this mod, raid rules apply to both player characters as well as AI characters. So there's one node that has many hive mind characters in their raid kits. You get a lot of turn meter on spawn. There might be a few more of these types of nodes, but only preloaded turn meter happening for these characters on turn. Now, one of the nodes that I got, one of the missions that I got was a mission with the Illuminati and the Superior 6, and I don't think I took a turn on that one, and that was one of the very early nodes in one of my runs. Didn't feel good. Now, if I got this at the later stages of the run, I'm sure a lot of the cards that I got would have helped to mitigate that. But yeah, I think there are some weird rooms. I know the Illuminati one is one that stands out. There are a few weird rooms that does feel like it's really bad, but I don't think it's there. The devs did say in the Envoy chat that there is no preloaded turn meter on this. So yeah, despite how it feels on some of the rooms, it's not supposed to be like that. This type of game mode is very RNG dependent. This game mode is famous called roguelike, and many games have this type of gameplay. One of the most famous is called Slay the Spire. In that game, you craft a deck to progress through randomly generated dungeons. It's very common to get bad luck and only getting bad cards making your run short. In other runs, you might get good luck and get great cards, but then get to a level which completely counters your deck, ending your run. Sometimes everything works out and then you finish the game. Yeah, so I was having a good run earlier on stream today and went in and had a super scroll there. Did not have the modifier that stopped the enemies from gaining turn meter and just completely wiped out my team. I was doing everything right, had some good characters, and then super scroll came in and I tried to go in a few times, and just because I didn't have the ability energy set to go right away, super scroll did his ultimate and everything just died. So that's kind of an example of a bad run that I had, but there are some good runs that I had as well that felt very, very good. But for me, as long as I'm getting some of these X coins, they're the yellow ones that could help with some future modifiers, I feel pretty satisfied on each run, even if I don't have a big score for that. Other thing that I found out on stream today, if you're doing a run and you're doing none of the elite missions, so the combat with 2 of the X's and not just 1 sword there, your score doesn't count. You need at least 1 elite mission in that run. So even if you get some big crazy score, getting a lot of those purple X coins, if you don't do any of the missions that awards those yellow X coins, your score will not count. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be or if that's a bugging in the game, but a lot of people in chat said that is how it's working right now. Right, of course, some strategies work better than others, but the chance of trying many different strategies makes the game more replayable. I agree with this very much so. A lot of the fun comes with that replayability, and it's different each time. Some of the problems I have with raids and the negative zone is because it's fun in the beginning, but as you do it over and over and over, and the enemies are spawning the exact same way with the exact same turn meter, everything like that, it becomes a little boring. I don't get that feeling with the Danger Room though. The game is supposed to be hard. You're not supposed to be able to finish easily on difficulty 10 on the first try. It does take a lot of time mastering the Danger Room, so I understand those who like more casual gameplay. And I do think that there is a casual experience there. Now, you're not going to get a lot of X coins or anything like that, but you can get through it and get some of the milestones there. I understand people that want more casual gameplay. However, this also needs gameplay for hardcore players, and this mode provides that. You need to spend a lot of time figuring out the best strategy while collecting yellow danger coins. After collecting enough of these coins, you can buy mods to help get further in the game. These help tremendously, making it much easier to clear difficulty 10. And I do think a lot of people on chat was using that raid mod to get through difficulty 10 and just doing a couple of those combat nodes, the elite combat nodes, and you could get a lot of those X coins there. So if you just have your turn meter, save your turn meter for those elite missions, go in with the raid mods built up and difficulty 10. Some people are able to collect a lot of those X coins very easily with that. But of course, you would need to do a lot of subsequent runs to collect 300 of those X coins. And the last point he makes is it's very free to play friendly. They allow to get unlimited loan characters. I do not have, now it's not unlimited, you get 5 of those tokens per day, but I do like that you get to loan characters. I don't have any of the Thunderbolt characters built up, but using Thunderbolts, I love using the lone Thunderbolts. I've been able to finish difficulty 10 multiple times, very consistently. In about 20% of the attempts, I could finish difficulty 10s with lone Thunderbolts. I can use my free-to-play Vigilantes, level 105, gear 19, 4 reds on new characters to finish difficulty 10, but not as consistently. Scopely often makes decisions would move the game in a bad direction, but this is not one of them. Danger Room is a great addition to the game. This game mode is not perfect, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. And this is the first iteration of it. I think they're going to continue to evolve this game mode as well. They did already talk about some changes they wanted for the second iteration of Danger Mode. This post turned into a really long rant. It bugs me that the community it really bugs me that the biggest community for this game is so negative, but hopefully this clears up some misconceptions about this game mode. If anyone has proof which contradicts any of my points, feel free to post in the comments section. And if there's any other contradictions that you feel from this post, let me know in the comments of this video down below. But I do want to go down to this comment on this. Preloaded turn meter does not count kit like Scroll or Void. Preloaded turn meter is when Scopely make characters spawn with some turn meter instead of 0, which means the character's acting faster than they should, even more given stuff not cancelable like Brexit with his card as the Crucible kit enabled. For example, on a Professor X node, wave 2 spawn with 250 turn meter, which is 25% turn meter. So no preloaded turn meter in the Danger Room. If you have raid bonus active, which you get just working their kit how it should. For example, North Star gives 20% speed to raid in all Alpha Flight, and then like that Super Scroll that was mentioned, like the node that I got, he just got a bunch of turn meter, but that was from his passive and all the allies that I had with all the buffs on their team. Super Scroll just got a lot of turn meter from that and just wiped out my team. But it's not preloaded turn meter, it's just a kit-based turn meter. All right, and before we move on from the danger room, I do want to talk about some of these cards, some of my favorite cards that are really helpful in a lot of the runs there. And the first one, probably my favorite card, is Barrel of Monkeys. For on spawn, for each non-hit monkey vigilante ally, clone one hit monkey ally. So you do need to have a hit monkey on the field for this, and you do need a lot of vigilantes on the field to really make use of this. But this is one of my favorite ones. I don't always get hit monkey and a bunch of other vigilantes. I try to start off with hit monkey and Sable, or Daredevil and Sable, but yeah, if we get a hit monkey on this, very good. One of my favorite ones, like I said. Also, this Carnage Boom, one of the best ones in the game here. It is that Carnage passive. When an enemy drops below 25% health, fills speed bar by 20% for self and all allies. That is great. Getting a lot of turn meter, especially if you're doing a lot of damage and those enemies are dropping down in their health. You're getting a lot of turn meter, and it can just kill a lot of enemies very quickly. We also, let's move down to Entry Wound, because this is one of the stronger ones. I think you can make an argument that this is the strongest card that you could get. It's a rare card, and on spawn, each ally applies bleed to all enemies. Enemies cannot gain immunity, and bleeds are very strong when combined with some of the other cards here. Two of them that work very well with Entry Wound are Frenzy. On enemy turn, if that character has bleed, fills speed bar by 5% for all allies. So that is a strong one that combines with Entry Wound. Also, Energy Vampire, allies. All allies gain ability energy when attacking targets that have bleed. So getting ability energy, getting some the speed bar, bunch of stuff if you have these cards on, and they work very well with each other. If you get these three cards on, that is a strong run that you're on. All right, next, let's move down to Speeding Ticket, and this one is one of the better ones there. What this does, it's only an uncommon one, but this is one of the stronger ones. Enemies cannot gain speed bar from abilities. Like I said, they're not getting a lot of turn meter passively or preloaded, but they are getting them from the abilities, like that Super Scroll ability, or like that North Star ability that was mentioned earlier. So this stops that. So that node that I talked about where I got totally wiped out just because I had a bad room, didn't have this card on there. If I had this card, this Speeding Ticket card, well, Super Scroll wouldn't have gained all that extra turn meter, wouldn't have wiped out my team with his ultimate. So yeah, this is a pretty important one. Those, I think, are the most important cards out there. Let me know in the comments, are there other cards that you really enjoy in the Danger Room? And if so, let me know so the rest of the community can use that to their advantage. Now it is time to get your mailbag questions of the week, and big shout out to everybody that left a mailbag questions for this video. If you do want to leave a question for a future mailbag video, which we do on a weekly basis, make sure you join the Discord. The link's going to be down below, and then go to the mailbag questions channel, ask your question there. Hey Valley, got a question about the currency conversion. What actually was the point of it? I get that most stores are outdated, but I've gone from 5 useless currency to 40 million of useless shop credits that I could only buy L3 training modules, war attacks, defensive boosts with. I have 2 accounts I play with, one endgame and one 2-month-old, and it literally hasn't changed anything for me. Thanks for making it make sense. I think the big thing that they wanted was simplification. We do have all these stores now, and what I thought was gonna happen was all these outdated stores, War, Blitz, Raid, Arena, Cosmic Crucible, all of them would go into one store. That's where we could use our credits. And then there'll be another store with the more recent stuff. But that's not what happened. It still looks very similar. All these stores are still here. We're just using a different currency for all that stuff. And all the older stuff are on these old stores. The big thing though, we got this Intel store. One of the reasons they weren't able to give us a lot of good stuff, training mats, T4 ability materials, some awaken abilities, some newer character shards, was because these stores, a lot of people had a lot of currency. So right now I have 82 million of those shop credits. If we go to some of these previous stores, I had a lot of currency for those. So if they added anything to this store, myself and players that have been playing this game for a long time, because these stores are so outdated, immediately buy everything right off the bat. And I don't think that's what the devs wanted. So that's why this Intel shop was added. That's why they had this legacy currency. I was wondering how they would solve this problem for a while. This is a problem that's going on for a while. There's nothing that could really add to the Blitz store, the Raid store, a lot of these stores. So now they have a new store that they could add all the good stuff in, the stuff that we want, some of the more recent stuff, the gear, character shards, things like that. And all this outdated stuff, they don't have to add stuff to it anymore. They can leave all the old stuff there for newer players or players that still need this stuff, but all the current players at endgame or that are looking for the most recent stuff, they do have the ability to get this. Now, this intel is a little bit more rare, and that's why they're able to offer some of the better stuff. But yeah, as far as what it actually did to these shops, didn't do much in reality. But I think the big thing, like I said, was having this intel shop and give us more things that we can buy. We weren't able to do that before they did this current, or I guess we were able to do that while the intel shop was there. But yeah, I like it is now with one useless currency for all this stuff instead of 5 useless currencies for all this stuff there. So that's why they did that. It may not have hit every single major mark that all players wanted to hit, but I think it hit a major one, which is adding that intel store and just simplifying the background currency. Now, after every season or every chapter, they could move all that intel to that supply store and they can start giving us good stuff again. So I think short term it didn't do much, but I think long term what they're able to offer in the intel store, I think that was a pretty big change. ValleyFlyin, when will Captain Britain, Ares, Mephisto diamonds become available? I am not sure. I think about 3 months ago during the anniversary, we were able to get some diamonds from Mephisto. So I'm not sure if 3 months is the time that they're holding it off, 6 months is the time. I'll put my guess at 6 months. So I say, about August is when I'm guessing from Mephisto. Now, as far as Ares and Captain Britain, now Captain Britain came out pre-Ares. So I think it would be more justification for him have his diamonds sooner. I don't remember if there was an event for his diamonds or not. I do remember that Mephisto event. I'm not sure when Captain Britain's, if they were ever available. So I would say probably about 3 to 6 months after that event as well. Although because he is an epic character, they may be holding it off a little bit more. I don't remember what they did with some of the zombies, but that they held that for about a year. Captain Britain's been here for about a year. I would say soon for Captain Britain. Now, Ares, I don't remember if he had an event either. He's more of a war character, and I really liked what his passive brought. His diamonds didn't really affect the passive that much, which is stopping the safeguard in all game modes. But what it did was give him more stats for a war. Since I'm not really a war player, don't really remember when the diamonds got to this thing for him. But I would say Ares is more of a normal release character. I would say he'd be more in line with that 6 months after whatever event had for diamonds for him. So I'd guess Ares would be soon. Captain Britain, I don't know what they're going to do with him. I hope he's very soon. And then for my guess for Mephisto, I'm guessing August. Will there ever be an update to the costume store? Man, I was hoping that they would update the costume store wholesale. But man, I've had this many costume credits, 44,000 for a long time now. What they've recently been doing with some of the more recent costumes that they want to get to people's hands is doing milestone events and having to earn them from grinding. Don't know if they're going to go back to this. Now, I didn't get this Mortal costume, and because he's getting a rework part of the Curse team, I may be using some of these costume credits to go back and fill it out to get this remaining 6,000 of these credits. But yeah, I don't think they're going to touch this store anymore. I don't think they're going to add anything to this store. I did like when they were giving us some costume credits so we could choose characters that we want to have costumes for. But I think what they're going to do to release costumes from now on is just events, unfortunately. Hey, Valley, love your stuff. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your question. Will characters like Howard, Havoc, and Vigilante be farmable somewhere else later on? Or they're just going to stay in the Intel store because there's a lot to buy in there right now. And if that's how it stays, getting to 7 stars is going to be pretty hard. Yeah, it would, but I don't think that's what their intent is. If we go into the game right now and see the message that came out yesterday, it says recruit Starjammers. Lalandra, Howard the Duck, and Havoc have been added to the Ultimates, Basic, Premium, Mega Orbs, and the supply section of the Ultra and Main stores. And this is kind of the cadence. Normally, they go through their normal release, and then after they have their event, and then after the event, after a while, they go to the bumps. Then they go from the bumps to their farmable location. It has been a temporary farmable location, like the Battle World store, and then some other things. And then they go to their main location, like a Spotlight Orb or something like that. So if we look at what happened with the Absolute A-Force, I think that's what's going to happen with the Starjammers and the Vigilantes and everything else that's in the Intel store right now. Currently, we have the Absolute A-Force that just became farmable. and they were in the Battle World store previously. I was wondering what would happen to these guys if they're just gonna stay there. And now that we have the Intel store and everything like that, it looks like we're gonna have the current, the most recent teams in the Intel store. Then once that chapter is done, it seems like after that chapter is done, all of the characters from the Intel store will be going towards, we'll be going to the supply section and things like that, as long as they are in that cadence. So if we go to the Absolute A-Force, they became farmable. But if we look at the Intel store right now, we have 4 teams in there right now. We have the Liberty team, we have the Starjammers, which you mentioned, we have the Vigilantes, and we have 1 member of the Thunderbolts. I'm assuming Songbird and Hyperion will be here very shortly. So what I think is gonna happen, once these characters become old, these characters right now, the Patriot and Falcon, they are in a Battle World store right now. They're gonna be moved out of there into their farmable location soon. I think these, as they are in their farmable locations, they go out of the Intel store, and then we're gonna get, maybe after the Thunderbolts, we'll get the Curse team in this as well, and they just keep shifting it like that. So they might be moving during the chapter, they might be moving after the chapter. I think it makes more sense from the timing wise to move these characters like the Liberty and eventually the Starjammers out from this while the event is going on as new teams are released. So that is what I think is happening. I don't think eventually that is gonna be their final landing place. I think this is their temporary place. I think all these teams, as their time comes, they move from this Intel store into some other location where you could use these supply credits to buy them, or you could farm them in a node or something like that. So that's it for the questions. Shout out to each and every one of you that left a question for this week's edition of the Mailbag. Like I said, if you do want to leave a question for one of these future Mailbag videos, join the Discord. Links down below. Hopefully it helps you with Danger Room. Hopefully it helps you to navigate some of the Intel store and other things coming up. If you got some value from this video, leave it a like. Check me out on social media. Check out my second channel, all about Raid Shadow Legends. If you're looking for a different flavor of a game, really enjoying what Raid has to offer. So you can check out my second channel. And if you want to use that link down below, you get 4 epic characters for free if you start off a brand new account. I will see you guys next time though. Hopefully have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.